What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Saturday, May 31st, 2025, and it's the last Saturday of the month. So you know what that means. It is Sound Off Saturday. Now, like I said yesterday, I couldn't do a Sound Off Saturday last month for the month of April because I was just coming back from vacation. But here we are back into the swing of things. And for those of y'all who are new to the channel and don't know what Sound Off Saturday is, it's basically the one day a month where we just talk about whatever for, you know, however long this stream goes for, about anything. It doesn't have to be anything like related to anything we talked about already. It can be if you really want it to be, but it's just anything you want. However, there is one rule. You only have a 2 sound off limit, which means you can only talk about 2 things at the most. Nothing past 2. So make sure whatever it is that you want to discuss, it is something you really, really want to talk about. Because I know I have 2 things, and the 2 things I'm going to talk about stems from last month that I wasn't able to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it today. But before we get into all of that, shout out to everyone in the chat. We got Jesse, we got Dimpleface, Joseph, Reparations Nation. Who else do we have in here? We got Miss Nisi, we got Brother Man to You, Dark Titan, Wallow J, and that is it so far. Oh, Kosma just popped in as well. So before I actually drop the link, I'm going to tell you the 2 things I need to sound off on before I drop this link. And both of them happened while I was on vacation. One happened while I was in Vegas, and the other one happened while I was still in Vegas, but it happened away from Vegas at the same time. So the first thing I want to talk about is, while I did have a great time on my trip in Vegas, and the resort that I stayed at was nice, the one major flaw that that resort had was them charging you a whole bunch of money just to use the Wi-Fi. Do you know that the resort that I stayed at was trying to charge me like damn near $40 to use Wi-Fi? And I was only there for a week. And mind you, I wasn't in the room or at the resort that much to use the Wi-Fi like that to afford to want to pay $40 to use it. So thank God for mobile hotspot. So that's my first sound off for the day. My second one is a little bit more detailed, and this is where I have to go in on UPS. Let me tell you something right now. UPS has got to be one of the worst delivery services ever. So I ordered something from UPS at the beginning, maybe 2 weeks before I went on my trip, thinking it's going to come to me maybe before, like right before I leave to go on my trip. I'm like looking forward to it and all of that. And I'm thinking to myself, what is taking so long for this to occur? Like, what is going on here? Kept checking my notifications, kept checking my email, and they kept saying, oh, we have to delay it. It was supposed to come today. Then they had to delay it the next day. Then when the next day would come, it would delay it again, and then again and again and again. And I'm like, okay, something is really going on. So in my mind, I'm thinking, did they lose my package? That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Mind you, by this time, I'm already in Vegas. So there's really nothing that I can do. Like, it's not like I can just go to the UPS place near where I live, because clearly I'm nowhere near home. I kept like, I sent them an email. Let me tell you, I sent an email to the company that I ordered from. I sent the email to the company I ordered from, telling them the situation. They sent me an email back probably the next day saying they were sorry for the inconvenience. And then all of a sudden, I get an email from UPS saying, oh, your package will be delivered tomorrow. So basically what you're telling me is, if I didn't send an email to the company that I ordered from, UPS would have still gave me the runaround. UPS, count your days. One of the worst delivery services ever. I hate when I have to get something delivered by them. If I can avoid UPS as a delivery service, I wholeheartedly would. So that's my 2 sound offs right there, but I'm leaving the rest up to y'all. The link is right there in the chat. I'll post it periodically because I'm not in a position to pin it right now. So I'll post the link as we continue to go through this stream. I don't know if anybody else in here has had a trouble or an issue with UPS, but that one right there, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. All right, let's see. Who do we got up here first? Okay, let's see. We got Kosma. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Torian?
I'm doing good.
You know, I thought it would be said and done with, but the thing I wanted to sound off on really one of the things is Tether's perspective on hip hop. And we all know the biggest rap beef that just happened,
Mm-hmm.
and how I just can't stand how so many of them have come in and try to dictate the rules of how this whole thing goes. And it really bothers me because you're trying to rewrite. It's like they're playing revisionist history with a genre that they didn't create.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't get to see how detrimental it is because they over in Nairobi, Kenya, someplace like that, talking and being in proximity to a certain artist who has certain skin that they gravitate to. And I'm sorry, I have to call it out for what it is. And it's really saying like Torian, I'm gonna ask you this question. Of all the genres out there, which genre you have to have the most proficient pen in, and you have to be authentic, you have to write your own stuff?
Hip hop.
Exactly my point. And they're telling other people, they telling Black Americans, we need to stop that. We shouldn't, it ain't that important if he don't write it or not.
Mm-hmm. Just like I've seen where they tried to, I guess you could say, make their own version of Juneteenth.
Yes.
I'm like, all I could do is just like shake my head at that. I was like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah. I mean, and the last thing I want to sign up for, you just mentioned, you just put it right to my brain. You mentioned UPS. Well, let me tell you who I have a bad problem with when it comes to delivery. And it is the United States Postal Service. They might have UPS beat, Torian. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever really had an issue with the United States Postal Service, but UPS, like that one incident right there left a bad taste in my mouth because
No,
I know UPS is known for doing delays, but that delay right there, and then you're doing the delays. Like I said, mind you, when I ordered it, it was maybe like 2 weeks before my trip. I did not get that until like halfway through my trip. So
damn,
you're talking about like I didn't get it until about 2.5 weeks later.
damn. Oh, man. And imagine being home, Torian. Let me before I go. Um,
Mhm.
Imagine being home and you waiting for a package that says it's being delivered, and then at 7 o'clock you get a notification saying that they they were unable to reach your door, and you've been
Mhm.
home the whole time.
Exactly, and that's the worst thing, especially when you have to be home. Maybe if it's something you got to sign for, and it's like you wasted a whole day. Like it's something else you could have did with that day. Some people might even like if they have no one there to get it, they might have to call off work just for that, and they lost a whole day for nothing.
And they still ain't got the package.
Right.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to really sound off for. And thanks for having me up, man.
No problem. Appreciate
All
you
right.
coming up. Shout out to Kosma for coming up. Let's see who do we have coming up next. Oh, y'all know what time it is.
Heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred.
Hurricane Nisi, what's going on?
Good afternoon, Torian. Good afternoon, family in the chat. I don't really have a sound off. I just want us to do a quick recap of season 4 of Raising Kanan.
Okay.
What's your overall take for the whole season?
That ending was crazy.
Okay,
Like
it was
the finale.
well. They did. You know what? This is my opinion for season 4. They setting it up for the final season of season 5.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
opinion.
definitely.
My opinion. I don't think Kanan went through with it. I think
Yeah, I don't
somebody
either.
else popped up.
Yeah. He has made so many reckless mistakes, but that's always been his character. Even in the original Power, he was always like that too. But
Mm-hmm.
and it shows like right here, like how it all started off. I would say in this season, Jukebox definitely like that killer instinct is in her now. Like
Oh yeah.
she is with the shits right now, which I love because like that's how we got introduced to her character in the original Power. Like she came in already popping off. Like we got introduced to her before we even knew who she was, and she already like popped off on somebody immediately. It was like we don't even know who you are. So when we found out they was doing a prequel series, a lot of people was wondering about her character. It was like, we know she's going to make it. She's going to live because clearly she can't die. That would make no sense. But she definitely really went in. Lulu was back. You know,
yes.
he's out of his slump. I think he had to drop that girl to really get out of it, but he's back.
And
Marvin,
I don't trust her. I didn't trust that Akuye, whatever her name was. I ain't trust her.
Marvin, he's still snacking, but he's still doing some like reckless stuff. Rock went in on him about that. I'm glad Joyce is gone. She got on my nerves. She had to be one of the worst mothers in power. And you know, Rock was definitely going to be the one to do it because Lulu wasn't going to do it. Marvin wasn't going to do it. Rock, she was going to do it with no hesitation. She kind of hesitated, but at the end of the day, she knew what she had to do.
Yeah. Now, I was kind of let down with the introduction of Breeze.
Okay.
It was like, yeah, you know, we knew he was going to show up. It was just, it wasn't a boom moment for me, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think that was probably the point of it because they didn't want to like have you go all the way in with it like right there because he's only coming in for a little bit of time in this last episode of the season. So I'm guessing next season, that's when you're going to at least hopefully, that's how you're going to see him, like why he is the threat that they built him up to be.
Well, it's only two things I want to see come season 5.
Mm-hmm.
What is the final what's gonna really happen to Rock, whether she died or she's in prison. Me personally, I think Marvin is gonna die. That's what's gonna turn Juke, period. And also I want to know what incident is going to occur, because remember on the original Power, Kanan had that scar on his neck, and it was told that Jukebox gave it to him. I want to know what incident led up to that.
And also, whatchamacallit, I forgot what they did to what is her name?
Actress or
actress? Her character on the show. Kanan's girlfriend. What is her name?
Kanan's girlfriend. Crystal.
Crystal got kidnapped. They drugged her up. She barely got to eat. She barely got the bite into that PB&J and had her head blown off.
You know what? I'm about sick of Snap and Pops. Especially that Pop.
Yeah, and now we know that they were the ones that took out Famous.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
they've been a long time. For a long time, everyone thought it was Rock that did it.
And no, I never believe Rock did it. No. But Kanan's hatred of his mother because of her past mistakes. Anything go wrong, he automatically blames Rock. And Snap and Pops manipulated Kanan. But I'm waiting to see if and when he realizes they played him.
Yeah, and also one thing we need to do, since this is going to be the last season, who is going to be the mother of his child? Because we know he had a son, Sean, which we saw. Ms. Niecy, I think your audio cut out. Ms. Niecy, if you're still there, I don't know what happened. Your audio just cut out. All right, I'll bring you down. You might have to leave and then come back up. When you come back in, I'll bring you back up. All right, I'll put the link back in the chat just in case anybody else wants to come up. All right, next up we got Joseph. What's going on?
Salute, Torian. Salute to the chat room. Man, I had to come to this sound off because work has been kicking my tail, especially with this cleaning company change that's happening Monday. Mm-hmm. We basically finish all of the paperwork and it becomes official starting Monday. So I'm glad that's out the way. I am happy to see the 42nd chapter in my life. My birthday was 2 Fridays ago.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday.
Thanks. And I finally saw Sinners for my birthday.
Okay, what did you think?
It lived up to the reviews you and Tariq did. And you know a movie's good when Tariq Nasheed still talks about it.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's funny that you mentioned that because they is actually about to be released on digital like next week. Finally, I think this movie stayed in the theaters way longer than they expected it to, which is a very good thing. But in Clark's, is it Clarksdale or is it Clarksville? I can't remember in what's the name of that city in Mississippi where this is based out of. They never had a theater there for like 20 years, like nowhere nearby, so people couldn't go to the movies like that. And I think they said the closest movie theater was like about like 50 miles away, which is far. But they managed to find a way to they found a place where they could do a screening for the movie for the people there, and it was packed. Someone took a picture inside of the location where it was at, and it was packed up in there. I don't think it was barely any seats there. And I thought that was a dope thing for them to do. I think they did it a few days ago. They're actually still promoting the movie out there in like Korea.
Well
Like they
deserved.
like yeah, they're still doing promo for the movie out there in Korea. It's become a global success, and I'm glad for it.
As am I. And let me say this. You were right about that ending with Smoke.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All I could say was that moment took me back to the Joker from The Dark Knight saying to I think the dude was Hispanic saying, "What can I say? I'm a man of my word."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ryan Coogler, and I don't know how this is going to happen, but I hope he gets the rights to do the Blade remake because he's already shown he could do action with Black Panther. And he could throw in horror with this movie and give it the sauce it deserves.
I don't think anybody would be opposed to it, but I think with him doing the third Black Panther movie, that's really where his focus is going to be, and that'll be hard for him to do that and Blade because and then on top of that, they're both Marvel properties, and he's already locked in for Black Panther 3. So I think that's where his primary focus is right now. I think another thing that I recently heard is that he's supposed to be doing a X-Files movie, I think. Yes, and all the actress that played, because I didn't watch X-Files, but the actress in there, like the main one, she wasn't going to do it. But then when she found out he was going to do it, and after like the success of Sinners, she said, "Sign me up."
That's great to hear. And outside of the movie being like, so great, one of the trailers that stood out to me was what looks like a Walking the Dead-esque theme film, 40 Acres.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that trailer, I was like, okay, just let me know when that comes out because I'm going to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the beginning of Black cinema. I mean, we've already known that Black cinema is good in its own right, but I think this is the beginning of the expansion of Black cinema and not just being pigeonholed to comedy, urban drama, so to speak.
This basically the stereotype.
Yeah. And I'm glad that, Sinners was that movie that broke that mold for real.
And it was, and also add in that it's an original IP. It's not a remake. It's not a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's an original story. So I think that's another thing that a lot of people was also praising about it. And then of course now it's gotten so much buzz around it that a lot of people are talking about like Oscar nominations. Like there's like it's being thrown out there a lot right now early on. And I said if the Academy was smart, they would nominate this movie for as many awards as possible. And the reason why I said that is because their viewership has been down the last few years. And if you want to get Black people to watch your show that rarely watch award shows as it is, you will nominate that movie. And I'm telling you, your numbers are going to jump. And I think from a business standpoint, they know that too. but we'll have to see what that's like. And usually those nominations don't go out until like December, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that.
That part. Oh, and something else too that something else I wanted to mention too, in light of like, you know, what's happened this year as far as Black people and our like, you know, engagements with other groups. Do you think this is the beginning of a new Black grassroots renaissance as for us enforcing our right to be safe?
I would definitely say so, because I've been seeing like some things that actually kind of put a little smirk on my, I'm not gonna say a complete smile, but a little smirk on my face. Like, I don't know if you saw, but this recently happened, but apparently some white supremacists were having this White Lives Matter. I don't know. It looked like in some kind of rural town, and they had Confederate flags everywhere. They had signs talking about White Lives Matter or Black Lives Don't Matter. And some Black people pulled up, like literally like it was nothing. This Black guy got out of the car with a bottle of black spray paint, shook it up, and literally spray painted BLM over their whole little mural. And they did nothing. They just sat there. They just sat there, probably called him a few slurs, and the guy didn't care. He did that, got back in his car, and drove away. And they didn't even touch him. That's why I tell you, a lot of the times when they say things online, they get big and bad online and say what they're going to do. But then when they step outside, they're soft as cottonelle.
Right. And you could tell that just by, you know, your daily walks. I mean, there are a couple of folks at work, you know, who carry that attitude, and I just keep an eye out saying, you know, I don't mind being suspended. I don't mind looking for, you know, another place to work, but my safety and my well-being is more important than any crumb I could get.
Yeah.
Because there's no point in, like, you know, quote, getting resources, and I'm not in the right state of mind to like even, you know, want to go out and spend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but send us next week. I will definitely download it.
Cool.
And I'm gonna do my best to get back, like, you know, get back to watching your content, because I'm gonna say this. The new Black media content has been keeping me sane on the job these days, especially with some of the stuff I've noticed. But I thank y'all and the new Black media really for just being here. And I'm glad that, you know, I got along in the grid with y'all. Next year will be the 10 years I follow the new Black media, and I hope for more.
Nice. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me up.
No problem. Shout out to Joseph Washington. Okay, I think Miss Nisi got her stuff together. I don't know what happened. Okay, you're back.
I didn't have my adapter plugged in, and I didn't realize my phone went blank. I don't even know what part I ended on.
I was telling you about hopefully with this being the last season, because with the last season, who's going to be the mother to Kanan's child, Sean, because we know that he had a son named Sean in the original Power, and he was very much grown. So that has to happen this last season.
Well, I know the character's name was Gurita, played by Tasha Smith.
Okay.
That's all I remember. But to wrap it up, we'll hopefully going into the new show, Origins, we get introduced to young Tommy and young Ghost.
Right.
Yeah. But other than that, I will say this. Hello, Donna C. How you doing? I will say this. UPS, you know, I work at the phone company, and that's one of our vendors who delivers. And I know for a fact UPS will claim something has been delivered, and it is not. And unless you call them, you'll never know. You'll never know. And they're famous for losing packages.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who's worse, UPS or FedEx.
I never really had a problem with FedEx. It's just that UPS, like, I think I always have a good rapport with FedEx or USPS, or even definitely with Amazon. Amazon's like, I never have an issue with them. It's always efficient with them. It's just that UPS, they need to be called UBS because you be on that BS. That's exactly what they should be called.
I agree. I agree. Well, anyway, I'm gonna drop down, and you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Be blessed, baby.
You too. Thank you, Miss Nisi, for coming up. Before I bring up the next person, shout out to DSB for the 20. He said a hospital bill can be really expensive. They better keep their races behind that computer. Right. And also shout out to DSB for gifting out 10 memberships as well. All right. Next up, we're going to bring up Dimpleface. What's going on?
Hey, how y'all doing? This is the first time I'm on. So how you doing,
Good.
brother?
Doing good.
Okay, always good, and everybody, and the love to the family and everything else. So I had to get on. So this is my early birthday thing that I wanted to do for y'all since my birthday is tomorrow.
Well, happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. And I know you came out to Sin City where I live. Oh, okay. So my only thing is, I just want to acknowledge the family and everything else. And I love y'all. And one thing I want you to do is, I know this month is Black Music Month. You said that yesterday. I'm not going to make it so deep today. So Black Music Month, man, everybody's saying, oh, Motown. Nah, there's Philly. There's other things. There's other people to listen to other than just Motown. But I'm going to say one more thing. When we talked about the crazy dude yesterday, Mr. I call him Coaster Cakes. So, man, you had me laughing. I started my birthday yesterday, so it's just like, it was hilarious. So that's all I'm gonna say, man. It's just like, it's so good to, Miss Nisi and DSB. What's so funny about him is, I know he listening. So he, because my name is Dimpleface, and he was like, "Yeah, how you doing, sister?" No, I'm not a sister. No, not a sister, not a sister. I'm just a man with deep dimples, and the women love it. So it's just like, no, bro. So my dad has dimples, and he said, "Those dimples, that's your greatest asset. I know music." And, it's just like, and my voice. He said, those are your three greatest things. And hey, I used them. So, and that's what's up, man.
Nice.
No, I watch you every day. And like I said, I'm in Sin City. So you come on at 7 a.m. So you my morning cup of coffee.
Appreciate
That's what I say, brother. So, hey, this is my first time talking to you, and I've been listening to you for years. Trust me, I comment every day, and I do my jokes and everything. Look. Unlike Coaster Cakes, at least I can make people laugh. So, Coaster Cakes ain't funny.
Listen, the only reason he was funny yesterday is because of him crashing out. Like, man, that was the only reason. And it's funny enough, I need to actually go and like clip some things from that, because it's like, as a drop, because it's hilarious to me. Like when he be crashing out, that is some of the funniest stuff ever.
That is the funniest thing. And then like I said, I typed Z formation. It did.
Yeah.
It did. But it wasn't you. It was just funny, because I'm like, dude is just he's crashing out. Man, that stuff in those cabinets, I know they got bugs and everything in them. Ain't nobody about this stuff. Then talking about something, he want to sell his autograph. Are you out your damn mind? So, yeah. Okay, yeah. Hey, Church. So I see Church up in here. That's my bro right there. So it's like, yeah, everybody I love up in here. Y'all my family. Brother man from the 7th floor. That's what I call him. So it's just like, yeah, okay. So it was so good. So only reason why I came in today is like, I'm celebrating my 54th tomorrow. So
nice.
I already started partying. So it's just like, that's it. So y'all, I ain't gonna keep you long. So stay black.
I appreciate you coming up.
Stay black, stay on code, stay woke, and be one.
Be one. Shout out to Dimpleface and happy early birthday to him. And going back to what he was saying with the Black Music Month and how I was explaining it, we're gonna be covering a wide range of wide range of music. We're gonna be covering music from like back in the day to even to now, or more recent different sounds. The Motown sound, the Philly sound, the down south sound, New York, everywhere where music can be, heard from back then to now. Trust and believe me. And then the first poll will be going up tomorrow. Like I said, the polls will run between 8 a.m. Eastern time and 5 p.m. Eastern time. And when 5 p.m. hits, I can go on the site and I will close the poll down. And then the next one will go up the next day at the same time. And we will wash, rinse, repeat until all the polls are done. I think I have enough to carry me all the way up until the day before we do the jam session on Rumble. So we got about, what was that, 27 days. So that's going to be about 27 songs that'll be thrown in there depending on which one wins in which category. All right, next up we got Church. What's going on?
Salute to you, Torian. Salute to the chat. Happy birthday to our brother Dimpleface. I hope to see 54. You know, that's a blessing. You know what I mean? And then also happy belated birthday to Joseph. You know, real quick, I just wanted to touch on the situation of the Black cinema. I do believe that we're about to see a lot of stories come out in the narrative of the Black American. I was on Instagram the other day and I saw this brother fundraising for his movie that he's getting ready to release. And he has a couple of big names tied to it. But the synopsis of the movie is basically he's the descendant of a slave who's a comedian. And people don't think he's funny because he's married to a white woman or something like that along the lines, right? He moves into the house where his family presided and all this other stuff. And I guess it's like a horror movie slash, I guess you could say, touch on the situation of, you know, the crossbreeding or whatever. However, I just noticed that there are more people who are pushing these type of stories. And the brother, he got like maybe 100,000 right now that he didn't crowdfund it. So I do see more of the Black cinema starting to come out. And I do think that that's a good thing. But I wanted to ask you, did you hear about the officer that was unalived in Ohio about 4 days ago?
I can't say that I did, or maybe you have to break it down for me. Maybe I did.
Okay, so this officer, he was sent on a domestic violence call. And this white dude, he basically told him to get the hell up out of there or else he was going to unalive him. He told him verbatim, according to all the witnesses, all the neighbors, if you want to see your children again, you're going to get the hell up out of here. And so the officer was trying to de-escalate, and the dude pulled out two from the reports. He pulled out two different pistols and let them go until there was nothing left in the chambers, right? Wow. And so my whole thing is this, and I'm gonna speak about it a little bit more later, but my thing is this: are they going to show up at the courthouse like how they did Rodney Hinton? The sheriff wouldn't even say the perpetrator's name on the camera. It took days before the perpetrator's name came out because the sheriff refused to even say his name. And when at the press conference, when the interviewer was asking him, like, what's the person's name? What's his identity? He said, I won't even give his name. And we
know what that means.
Exactly. The interviewer asked him, he did not love the way that the interviewer followed it up. He was like, why won't you give the perpetrator's name? He's like, because he don't deserve it. I won't even say his name because he don't deserve to have his name said. I'm like, what? Since when does a criminal have to deserve to be addressed or to be Rodney Hinton? He was a grieving father and y'all had no problem tossing his name out into the world.
How many officers you said were shot?
It was one officer, and he was only on the job for like 3 years. He just got hired.
The reason why I was asking is because when he was talking, I just got my phone and I was going on Google and I just typed in officers shot in Ohio, but it's bringing up this other story out of Cleveland where they said manhunt was underway after 2 Ohio officers were shot during a traffic stop, and the person that did that was also a black guy with locks. So I don't know if you heard, and that one just happened because they said the story just came out on the 29th and it was updated yesterday. So that's why I thought that was the one you was talking about. Unless this is a whole different story. It's some stuff going on in Ohio.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I just wanted to bring that up to you, man, because I wasn't sure if you heard about it or not, because I found it very interesting that, you know, the officer, well, the sheriff, you know, he not only didn't want to release the person's name who did it, who done it, but I also wanted to pose that question. I wonder if they're going to pop up at the courthouse 50 officers deep like they did with Rodney. I doubt it, but hey, you know. But thank you for having me up, my brother.
No problem. Shout out to Church for coming up, and shout out to him for telling me that story. I'm about to try to look for that. And see, when they don't give you enough information, you got to do a lot of extra legwork to try to find this stuff. All right, next up we got Wallow. What's going on? Wallow, you a few spaces behind today.
Yeah, I'm at work. I'm trying to get some stuff done, so that's why everybody else is first. So y'all be all right. Y'all can have it. But first thing I want to say is family. Y'all already know what month is coming up. I ain't got to say much, but y'all know how these African and Caribbeans want to inject themselves, into our national holiday, which is Juneteenth. All I got to say is let's be prepared for it, because we know how they want us to include them into stuff and not include us into their stuff. I'm talking about as a group. Everybody, I'm talking about the group. Everybody know what I'm talking about. We know them folks gonna say something, but they gonna get in their feelings. Cause I think what's gonna happen on Juneteenth is Trump's gonna go out there and say, I mean, I may be wrong. He may acknowledge it and say he may throw shade at Biden, because we all know Biden was the one that took it from him to make it a national holiday. So if you don't know, you know. But what was the other thing I was going to talk about, Torian? Shit, Jesus Christ. See, this is what happened when you at work. Oh my goodness gracious. It was something, I don't even know. Jesus Christ. God, Lord have mercy. See, I hate this. I hate this so bad. Oh, damn. What was I about to, oh yeah. Vivek Ramaswamy. I saw a poll. I know somebody was talking about. Saw a poll. I think it was on Instagram. They were like, "Well, he's right now the leading candidate in Ohio," but they said the reason why he's the leading candidate because one of the guys that they had running dropped out, and they're talking about, you know, there may be more people, you know, in the Republican Party in that sector in Ohio may be running. So that I was shocked by that, but now I was like, nah, he still ain't gonna get a nomination, because I said ain't no way in here they're gonna put his brown ass up there. With all the shit going on in Ohio right now, you really think they're gonna let his brown? Nah.
You know what's so funny? I forgot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had completely tuned Ramen Noodle out until you mentioned his name just now. Because I hadn't heard anything on him, and for good reason, in quite some time. And now you saying his name is like, now, oh God, now he's back in my memory bank.
Unfortunately, I wasn't thinking about it until somebody said something. Then I started because I was looking up Virginia's governor's race, because I know the people talking about that too. And I saw this. Let me check on Ohio for some reason. I said, oh God. I said, ain't no way they're gonna let that man. I said, y'all consider them in poll like, yeah, he gonna be okay. I said he won't win. If he wins that nomination, oh my goodness. All I got to say is Ohio, get ready. But I'm gonna land my plane there, Torian. Everybody be one. Oh yeah, two. I got one more thing, Torian. Ah shit. Hold on. Sorry. My birthday's in 2 months. Basically, yeah, about 2 months from now. I will give the family. You gonna do sound off on Sunday in July, like last week in July, right?
Yeah, the last Saturday. It's always the last Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. I'm gonna give the family a proper gift for everybody. Okay, in 2 months. Bear with me, people. 2 months.
Y'all better hold them to it. Y'all better not. Y'all better write it down.
And ain't no money. Don't ask. It ain't no money. Y'all, if any money coming out, it's better be given to me. Yes, I said it. But yeah, 2 months. Be one.
All right, shout out to Wallow for coming up. Next up, we got JW. What's going on?
Peace, Torian. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Word. Okay. First, I want to just tell all of the family, the foundational Black American family, I'm really, really proud of us because we, for the most part, have stayed on our square. We said we weren't going to get involved in these protests, and yeah, for the most part, I see that we fell back, and people are butthurt, because we're not out there being the sacrificial lambs that we once were.
Yeah, that's why. I don't know. Did you see the video that I did on Jeffrey Mead?
Yes, I did.
That and see, you notice what he was saying in that video when he was talking about the cops that that were found not guilty of all the state charges for what they did to Tyree Nichols, and he kept asking like, "Where's the Black Americans at, or where's BLM at?" Like, why are you asking where we are at? Where were you at? That's why when I typed his name into the search bar and put Tyree Nichols behind it, you couldn't find nothing because he didn't talk about it back when it was happening. And like, I remember I talked about it. It was a lot of us over here in the new Black media that talked about what happened to Tyree Nichols, and we was pissed. And it wasn't because he was Black. We didn't care that the cops were Black either. That actually made it worse. But it's the fact of what they did to him, and we literally saw it on camera what they did to him. We didn't care what their race was at that point. This is the fact that they did that, and we was even more mad about that.
Yeah, yes, so, because they should have known that.
Yeah, so for him to actually come out there and say that, we know what these grifters be doing. They be saying that stuff, and we know exactly what audience that they cater to.
Of course, they really just want our energy. They really want our energy, and the fact that we're not fueling them, they can't. We live on their minds. We live perpetually on their minds. I even see it here in my complex. There's not too many Black people where I live. It's mostly Korean, believe it or not. And I come home. I don't deal with people. You speak to me, I speak to you, but I'm very private because I always feel like it doesn't matter what type of a Black person you are. You could be Muslim, you could be Christian, you could be rich, poor, you could be hood, you could be intelligent, you could be whatever. They see us all the same. You see what I'm saying? So I don't feel the need to justify my existence or to go out of my way to please you or to make you feel, oh, he's a good one, because you already have your basis, your stereotype already set. But the fact that, I won't even be home, I'll come back and I'm looking down the hall and I see certain neighbors like looking at my door. And I'm just like, yo, can I help you? Oh, I just heard something. Well, how could you hear something when I'm not even in my apartment and I don't keep company like that? So it's like they just look for shit. Like Black people just stay on their minds. And I don't get why they so fascinated with it.
Remember what they said though. They got Black fatigue. I said it can't be that much fatigue in the world if you constantly all up in our business.
Always,
I saw a video on Seiji Hito's channel yesterday, and I left a comment on there. So we all know that there's this new terminology floating around called YN. We all know. Yes. I think many of us in here, even though some of us over a certain age, know exactly. I knew it. When someone said YN, I knew exactly what they was talking about when they said it. And in the video, it's this older white guy that looks like he has to be knocking on 50's door if he ain't already in his 50s, going around there recording himself with a Black accent, calling himself a YN. Sir, first of all, you don't even fit the criteria. First of all, you're old. That's number one. Well, actually, number one, you're white. That's the first thing. And two, you're old. You wouldn't even fit. Like, I wouldn't even go around calling myself a YN at my age. According to the age scale, because they came up with an age scale, for me and my age, I fall into the unk status.
I'm unk too. I'm unk with you. So
according to the age scale, that's where I fall into. I think they broke it down. I think they said like the YN age is like maybe like teenager to like 20 through like early 20s. It's somewhere in there. Then it's another one between like 25 to like 33 or 34, and then 35 and to like 42 is like unk status, and I think beyond that is considered OG status.
Yeah. And my thing is, bro, I wouldn't even want that term because like I don't find it endearing. Again, people are free to speak and express themselves the way they want. I'm not gatekeeping anybody, but don't address me as that. I'll address you by your name, address me by my name. If you can't be respectful, like I don't play them games. I'm a tourist like you. So I'm very, very particular. Like I want to treat everybody with respect, but don't be disrespectful towards me. But I just, like I said, I find this very, very fascinating. I'm very, very, it shocks and intrigues me because when we're around, you claim we're a problem. You know, it's always black people this, black people that. But now that we've fallen back and we're not involved, it's also a problem. Like these
It's a
people are
double.
crazy.
It's a double-edged sword. It's constant hypocrisy and contradictions.
Yeah, that's all I really wanted to share, bro. I
Okay.
appreciate you. I appreciate the new black media. I appreciate the family. Like I said, it's gonna be an interesting remainder of his administration, but I pray my black people just continue to just worry about yourself and your family. Don't worry about nobody else because they're not worried about us. Peace, fam.
Peace. Shout out to JW for coming up. Next up, we got Jonathan. What's going on?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can tell you're in the gym. You're in the gym
Yes,
today.
yes, I am. I don't, I don't miss out like that. So of course I'm gonna be, of course I'm gonna be here. The only time I miss the gym is on a Sunday. That's about it. I
Okay.
just came
That's a
from
rest.
boot camp.
That's a rest day.
That's a rest day.
Okay.
I'm gonna work on getting 2 rest days, but right now I'm just on one. And I
Okay.
just came from boot camp. But
Okay.
yeah, man. So I was talking. I was listening to you about your Jeffrey Mead situation, and you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to and I'm trying to understand like how is it? He said that we need to be accountable when it comes to black cops, killing black other black people. I was so I looked at your videos and I'm like, did Jeffrey Mead did not see that there were 3 black cops that went free that's wanted? They are all like those cops are being hunted right now. People are looking for those black cops
Oh yeah,
that went free.
right. I'm glad. You know what? I don't know why I didn't think to say that in my commentary because you definitely brought up a good point. Yeah, those people down there in Alabama where this happened at, they remember y'all. They put up wanted posters for those 3 cops when they got found not guilty on all of those state charges, and literally in the poster it had their picture and it said wanted dead or unalived. So they only wanted them one way, but they basically mentioned deceased in 2 different ways. I thought that was very interesting because it's like I had to look at that. I had to look at that a couple times. I was like dead or unalive. I'm like what? Oh. I was like, oh, I see. Instead of them saying wanted dead or dead, they said we want them dead or unalive instead of saying dead or alive. So yeah, Jeffrey must have not gotten that memo. He should have gotten it if he would have paid attention to the story, but we know he wasn't because he was using it as an opportunity to again throw black people under the bus. And what have I always told you? What is the motto? The
The
foundation of every
degradation
grift
of
is grift.
every grifter, the degradation of every grifter is tearing down the foundational Black Americans or Black
I got.
Africans. You know,
I got. Let me say the foundation of every grifter's grift is the degradation of black people, especially foundational Black Americans. I don't care if y'all got to write it down. I don't care. Get it tatted. Shoot, I made merch with it on there, so you can wear it if you want to. But yeah, and look at when we had to go and when I went in on Tiny Terry yesterday and all that foolishness he was saying in the crash out he had. What was he doing? Going at and talking about black people. As a matter of fact, speaking of Tiny Terry, shout out to KG because he sent something to our group chat today. I don't know if Kosma is still in here or not. Do you know that this fool, and this is what I mean when I tell you, like when you go to his page, it's literally a shrine to Trump. Those two posts I went over yesterday was probably one of the times where he didn't mention Trump in the text form, but he made sure to mention him in the video. But do you know that clown? Hold on, I'm gonna mute you right quick, John, because there's a lot of noise.
Okay.
But do you know that fool literally posted up something? Was it yesterday or it might have been today? I don't know, but it was recent. Saying, you know what? Let me go and read to you exactly what he said. Hold on, y'all. He said, Well, he wrote 2 tweets and he wrote a tweet and replied to one of them. I'm gonna read the one that he replied to. He said, "I voted for everything Trump is doing right now. Yes, even the things you don't like. I voted for that." That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I have and will still continue to call blind loyalty. That means that in his eyes, Trump can do no wrong. And I've said that before. He's said stuff like that in the past. So he's literally blindly looking over anything. So Tiny Terry must agree when Trump allowed those South Africaners, quote unquote, those people who are allegedly being genocided, to come in here. Because, like I said, he has yet to say anything about that on his page, and he most likely will never do it. That's what you call blind loyalty. And you want me to believe that he didn't get paid anything during that campaign. All right, you good now, Jonathan.
Yeah. So now I'm glad you brought him up.
Somebody block Dusty in the chat. Jonathan, I don't know what's going on. I think it's something going on with your mic because you just went quiet. I can't even hear you. And I'm not, you probably was talking the whole time and we can't even hear anything you said.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Oh, now I was gonna say, you ever notice that when you call these coons out for selling out, or let them know that, hey, you sold your soul to throw your own community under the bus, you realize how pissed off they get? I noticed they get so
Yeah,
mad.
that's again going back to yesterday when we was going over that second video. What made Tiny Terry crash out the most the whole time? Him being referred to as a sellout, and then he tried to throw own a reverse card on us and try to say we're the ones who's selling out. Excuse me, pot me kettle.
I was about to put that on there too.
Yeah, he really thought that he really thought that he was saying something by calling us sellouts. I was like, what? But he got really mad that people were calling him sellouts. But what got me even more was when he brought up LeBron James, and even though I can't stand her, Okra, the Mammy Supreme Wig Free, as if they know who this guy is. They don't know you. You are not important. You know what? I'm gonna leave what I said about him and yesterday. Like, if y'all want to see what I had to say about that, and y'all didn't catch the playback, it's up there for you to go see. Go check it out. But John, do you got anything else?
Man, all I can say is, these grifters, they get on my last nerve. Just go ahead and admit that you're doing this, that you just wanted, you didn't want no smoke from the white man, so you took up for him for money and all, and you kissed their ass. That's all you got to say. Like, be honest about it.
They're never gonna say that.
I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, I know they won't. But you know what I'm saying? Brand, fake them and all that. The fact that they call us sellouts, like what we do to sell out. We ain't never turn on our own. We don't betray. We ain't the traitors. We ain't betray nobody. Y'all the ones that did the betraying. Y'all the ones that are fear. Big and Brandon, biggest Brandon is. You think? Look, I'll knock all y'all white folks out and just throw y'all all around. But knowing that being a big black man is the biggest threat, he's looking at that as a fear that he'll get killed easily, and he got weakened. So, man, all I gotta say is they all pathetic. And there's now that I got that out the way, I want to just say a few more things before I get out. Throughout this whole month, like before my birthday, I went to the Sky game. Now I went to go see Angel Reese and them play.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to and speaking of Angel Reese, there was the first thing that played against Fever. They when
Your mic went out again.
how is it? You hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. When Angel Reese went to the free throw line against the Fever fans started making all these noises and doing these hand gestures to her in the free throw. If you look at Angel Reese's face, it's like she was holding back tears, like she wanted to cry, but she was trying to hold back because she was playing the game. The camera was on her. I think that may be a good video for you to do that because before the incident happened, Angel Reese was going for a rebound, and Caitlin Clark did a hard foul on her. Angel Reese got up and it looked like she was about to go after Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna put it on my video so you can check it out, and then you can, if you plan on doing it, making a live or video about it, and you can explain it, break it down as well. But I do plan to go back seeing her, go to Chicago soon to check her out again. On my day off of work. So I just thought I brought that up as well.
Okay.
Well, I'm about to go ahead and get started on my workout. So I'll see you soon.
All right. Appreciate you coming up. B1. All right. Shout out to Jonathan for coming up. And I think Jonathan might have been the last person because nobody else clicked the link after him. But let's see, who do we shout out to DSB for gifting the 10 memberships and also DSB for contributing to the super chats as well. Well, anyway, y'all, that looks like that is going to bring this edition of Sound Off Saturday to a close. As y'all know, again, let me repeat, we do this once a month, the last Saturday of every month. I just realized something. We're going to be doing 2 lives next Saturday, not next Saturday, the last Saturday of next month, because that's last Saturday of next month. I also plan on doing the Black Museum of Jam session based on the polls that I'm putting out throughout the month of June. So we're gonna be doing 2 lives that particular Saturday, one in the afternoon and one in the evening, which I don't mind doing, and I'm sure y'all don't mind it either. So that'll be the next one. We have one more video coming up today. It's an update video. Y'all probably saw the premiere window already. There will be also 2 videos coming tomorrow. And guess what, y'all? Both of those videos coming tomorrow are both triple Ps, giving y'all a heads up. So, and these are going to be triple Ps on people that first time entries. And honestly, they might be first and only time entries. I have a feeling that I won't be talking about them again after this, but it's going to be very funny. It's going to be straight up hilarious, especially that second one. And of course, the first poll for the Black Music Month is going to go up tomorrow as well. Like I said, 8 a.m. and it'll run to 5 p.m. And then when 5, I'll shut it down. And then when the second comes, the third, fourth, and fifth, and so on and so forth, y'all will get 1 poll a day. So with that being said, everybody, we are about to get up out of here. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. Be safe. And of course, most importantly, be one.